back today.
And it was a great team effort to beat DeWanna Bonner in her return to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Had to feel great for the fans there to see her vanquished and not playing well, and Alyssa Thomas complaining all over the floor. Bonner booed in her return.
Do you know what makes basketball karma so lovely? When DeWanna Bonner returned to Indianapolis, she learned the hard way. She most likely believed she would ride off into the sunset with a better team after leaving the Indiana Fever in the middle of the season. The universe had different ideas when she returned to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. In addition to the Mercury losing 107-101 without Caitlin Clark, Bonner received harsh jeering, managed only 4 points, and watched her replacement, Ari McDonald, score a career-high 27. Alyssa Thomas, her fiancé, was seen on tape making fun of Fever supporters just before they were reprimanded by the squad they said wasn't good enough. What then? Enraged Caitlin Clark. And how did Bonner receive quick karma in so many different ways? If you agree, leave a comment with Instant Karma Bonner.
Come on.
We got to celebrate beating down DeWanna the Scammer Bonner. Cheers, my friend. Cheers, buddy. DeWanna Bonner, I just want to start here. You stink. You stunk it up. You caused all that ruckus. I thought you stopped shooting threes hitting the side of the backboard when you took the Indiana Fever jersey off.
You could sense the energy in the air as soon as DeWanna Bonner took the court at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. For Indianapolis supporters, this was more than just another game. Ever since Bonner chose to leave their team in the middle of the season after agreeing to a deal with the Fever, they had been anticipating this day. As soon as she logged into the game, the alcohol began, and it continued unabated. Bonner's comeback to Indianapolis wasn't your typical road trip. This was a jab at the fans she turned away from when times became difficult. The audience became louder and more antagonistic each time she touched the ball. Fans were shouting "quitter" at her as she approached the free throw line. The hostility was genuine and intimate.
Foul on Sophie Cunningham. That is her first team second. Coming in from Martin Phoenix, number 14.
Even Caitlin Clark was captured on tape, savoring every moment of the crowd's fervent response. Clark was on the bench cheering each defensive stop against her old teammate, even though she was out due to a groin injury. Clark leaped up and rejoiced as if they had just won the title when Lexi Hall and Natasha Howard stopped Bonner's shot, resulting in a shot clock violation. The team was clearly united, and Clark's response gave you a clear indication of how the locker room actually felt about Bonner's exit.
Bonner battling with Hall. Bonner turns, fades, fires, and leaves it way short. Great defense there by Hall. Copper tracks it down and bounces from Bonner, who had her shot blocked. And it's a shot clock violation. Bonner walled off by Hall, and then blocked at the rim. Indiana has that 5-point lead at third.
Alyssa Thomas, however, wasn't satisfied with only observing from the sidelines. Throughout the whole game, Thomas engaged in intense arguments with certain segments of the audience while openly taunting Fever supporters. Totally unaware of what was going on the scoreboard, she was shown on tape informing fans that Bonner had joined a legitimate squad. She had no idea how horribly this was going to backfire, but Thomas seemed to think she was making some sort of power move. When Thomas became more combative in her taunts, shouting at the audience, and apparently attempting to protect her fiancé from the alcohol, the situation became more heated. However, for Fever fans who had been anticipating this moment for months, the entire situation was about to get even more satisfying. In 21 minutes of action, Bonner only scored 4 points on 1 of 4 shots. While the team she believed wasn't good enough for her was dismantling her own team, she managed to collect 1 meager rebound. Her spectacular departure from Indianapolis was matched by the pitiful performance. The Fever hadn't finished proving their case yet, but the instant karma was already displaying its lovely face. They needed to say something about what happens when you leave a team that is creating something unique.
Booed in her return, which is to be expected considering the circumstances in which she left, and the players that have come in for the Fever are much better than Bonner was for them. Aerie McDonald has been a revelation. She was great in this one again, and Chloe Bibby looks like a perfect fit. So all in all, Fever fans have to feel pretty damn good about that win.
The question of whether the Fever could defeat a Mercury squad in third place in the WNBA was raised by Caitlin Clark's groin injury. The detractors were poised to strike. Someone neglected to inform Aerie McDonald about the script, which was designed to reveal Indiana's total reliance on its superstar. McDonald, who wasn't even on the team when the season began, was going to demonstrate why Indiana was better off without DeWanna Bonner. The guard, who averaged double figures in all 93 of her games during her time in college at Arizona, was prepared for her moment. McDonald went a perfect 10 for 10 from the free throw line and exploded for a career-high 27 points. She exhibited the kind of resolve and spirit that Bonner never demonstrated while wearing a Fever uniform. McDonald was losing ground, passing the ball with 4 assists, and playing with the vigor of someone who is aware that this chance might not present itself again. Phoenix was not able to keep up with her speed. What kind of opened up for you tonight, and when did you realize you had it kind of going? You had the impression that you were scoring from almost anywhere. As soon as I watched those 2 threes enter, I realized how simple it was to access the pay. All right, I'm converting, I say. Okay, I'm doing fine. Let's continue to act aggressively, or simply accept the defense's arguments.
Realize you had it kind of going tonight, and what kind of opened up for you? It felt like you were scoring kind of from basically everywhere.
When I seen those 2 threes go in, then I saw how easy it was, like getting into the paint. I'm like, okay, I'm converting. All right, I'm good. Like, let's keep being aggressive, or just, keep taking what the defense is giving me.
However, McDonald wasn't alone in this burden. Chloe BBY, who inked a 7-day deal, showed off her shooting and floor spacing skills while dishing up 10 important points. On the defensive end, she even managed to steal.
Mitchell, she's got the 5 fouls. Austin, Cunningham. Yes! And a foul! Sophie Cunningham. Give her 3, and she'll go for 4. Contis battling, spins, fades, fires, and hits. Bibby, corner 3. Oh, yeah! Cunningham. Yes!
Dyrus Dantas scored 12 points off the bench, including a fantastic shake move that made Alyssa Thomas look dumb, while Sophie Cunningham finished with 12 points after making a huge 4-point play.
Gotta continue to stack, okay? We ain't got no room for sliding back, okay? We no room for slippage. Every day, there's a sense of urgency, okay? I was proud of you guys, the way it was offensive and defensive substitutions, being ready to go with that. Everybody who came in made an impact. We had 5 in double figures, damn near 7. That's really, really good. Y'all, I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you. Together, 1, 2, 3, together!
The irony of it all is that both BBY and McDonald were signed using the cap space that became available when Bonner left the organization. In order to recruit players who genuinely desired to play in Indianapolis, the front staff took advantage of Bonner's departure. These weren't only role players occupying their time during trash time. They were fighters defending a team basketball concept that Bonner had never grasped. The Mercury's possession by possession was being destroyed by the Fever's well-rounded offensive. As the game went on, you could see it on Phoenix's faces. This was not intended to occur. Without Clark, Indiana was expected to collapse. Rather, they were playing with greater chemistry and enthusiasm than they had displayed throughout the season. Everyone in the arena could feel the real-time addition by subtraction taking place. However, one player made the decision to make this game totally unattainable in the 4th quarter. The Mercury didn't know what Aaliyah Boston was going to do to them, but they still believed they had a shot to steal this one.
So 2 has Aerie McDonald, who did not start the season with the Fever, but has really come on strong. Pass inside, it's a bullet. Some more contact there underneath. Hole hits the ground. Austin has a size advantage here. Wants the clear out, gets the clear out, gets inside, and pushes it home.
The game was still up in the air going into the 4th quarter. but Aaliyah Boston had other ideas. Throughout the game, she had been scoring 22 points and pulling down 12 rebounds. However, she reserved her best for the most important moments. At this crucial moment, Boston was going to demonstrate to the world why she is turning into the franchise's mainstay. The Fever's ability to finish games without Clark on the court would be determined at this point, as the Mercury were attempting to stage a comeback. On the road, Phoenix still believed they had a shot to steal this one. They were unaware of what was going to happen to them. Boston dominated the contest, scoring 17 points in only the fourth quarter. Any hope the Mercury had of coming back into this game was dashed when she went on a personal 10-0 run.
Teams have now erased double-digit deficits. 9:30 to decide a winner. Howard inside Boston, deep position. Wow. Dangerous pass there by McDonald, rescued by Howard. Howard trots inside, left hand off the mark. Boston pulls it down and lays it in. McDonald has just had that look in her eyes here tonight, but it's Boston taking over in the fourth. No answers.
Boston made a statement with each and every basket. Winning a basketball game was no longer the only goal. The goal was to demonstrate that the Fever had evolved a winning culture that extended well beyond their star player. Boston was making 10 of 13 shots from the charity stripe and was getting to the free throw line whenever they wanted. She was finishing through contact, drawing fouls, and making the Mercury pay for all of their defensive errors.